Hello, good evening, everyone. Let's wait a couple of minutes to join our team. Today we have assignment number 3 for week 8. Greg is joining soon. There is some network problem. He is joining.
Okay, sir.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Hi, Greg. Good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, hi,
Evening.
sir.
Am I loud
Yes,
and
yes.
audible? Okay. Sorry for
Yes.
your time. I was just trying to organize my system. I'm having low backup for all this thing will get starting. So basically, I might not basically start the uh, project from the scratch. I deleted one I'd done before. I was halfway into it and I don't have much battery, but I have my documentation here. So I'll just share my whole screen, then get to where I've stopped, then continue from there. Sorry, I have to demonstrate like this, but situation, it is what it is. I'm very sorry about that. Let me just share my screen. Sorry, can you see my screen?
Yeah, it is.
Yes.
Yeah, it is loading.
Okay, okay.
Not visible, but it's loading, I guess.
Volume is low. Okay, okay. Let me try and increase. Let me try. Okay, okay. So it is better. Is it better now? Is it better now? Is the volume better now?
Yeah, it's
Hello?
okay. It is okay.
Okay, so please, you will just help me confirm. I want to see what that. Can you see my Microsoft Azure? I'm not.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're sure.
Okay, so I just wanted to be sure that all my screen is not seen. Okay, so I think what we'll do first is how do I type this? Okay, I think I will start with my documentation. Sorry, can you see the Word document?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, beautiful. So my whole screen is being shared. So I had to create this documentation, hoping it would be error-free because I had a lot of stress while trying to do it. So but let's just look at the what requirements for the installation. Okay. So, okay. Sorry for the delay. So the objective is you are tasked with deploying the Epic Book web application on Azure using a virtual machine and MySQL as a managed database service. This assignment tests your understanding of Azure networking, secure cloud deployment, VPN provisioning, and a multi-stack application hosting. So following installation, so we're going to create a virtual network VNet with address 10.0.0.0/16. Then we're creating two subnets, 10.0.1.0.20/24, the public subnet for the VM, then 10.0.2.0.24, private subnet for MySQL. Then we're going to associate a network security group with the public subnet to allow HTTP 80 and SSH 22. We're going to create another network security group for the private subnet to allow MySQL 3306 ports only from the VM's network. We'll configure a public IP for the VM and associate it with the network interface. So we're going to provision Ubuntu, task 2, deploy the Epic Book application, then task 4, set up the database for MySQL, then task 5 will test end-to-end functionality. So I think I'll be, for ease and convenience, I think I will just follow my documentation here. So the first thing we're to do basically is, which I have done, but I will just show what should be done first. Okay, this is assuming we're deleting, but we're not going to do that since I've clicked it and started again. So we're going to start from here, which is create a full network infrastructure. So if we're to do basically what to create a resource group called Epic Book RG. So if we want to do that, let me just go here and just, if you come up here, we type resource group, right? We have resource group here. So if we wanted to create a resource group, actually the resource group has already been created, which is this resource group. But since it's here, if we just click create here, so I'll just put a fictitious name, not confused, not using the same first name, but if you follow along, it's still basically the same thing from the documentation. And I'll also drop the documentation for those who might not be, to enable them to play with this. Sorry for the network lapse. So there are one or two things I want you to take note of. Since we're creating a new resource group, just call it anything. So let us assume we're taking the former one or two, before it will not go because I've already created a resource group. bearing that name. Just copy that name, paste here. I'm not going to confirm. Yeah, because there's already a resource group created there, but if I put one now, it will not go. Now, another thing you should take note has to do with this region thing, because of recently there, I noticed that as though most zones don't allow free tiers, even free tiers. So when you're on a free tier and you create your resource group, by the time you go and create your VNet and all that, it begin to give you problems and all that, giving you high VM to use. So one of the regions that was discovered, I think, by someone was this Canada Central region. Canada Central region. So if you do that and specify the next, like, so if you click this review and create it to create the group, but since we're not doing it, we'll just go back. So if you look at the slide, that will tell you creating the resource group. That is resource group. We don't Canada Central review, create and create the resource group. So let us go out of there since we already have that. So I just go backwards. That takes us out. If you can see, you see I already have this resource group. So the next thing we're supposed to do for the create was to create the network, the virtual network. And that this will entail you type the virtual network on the site vendor and click create. But there's something I just put as critical. You have to configure both networks correctly here. Private subnet toggle and subnet delegation for MySQL must be set during the creation to avoid some conflicts. So we'll go to virtual network. Let's go to the top here and type virtual network. Virtual network. Normally, if there was nothing here, you're supposed to have it create down here. But since we already have this epic already, you have to come in and click create. When you come here and click create, okay, it has taken resource group. So you put in the details. Even if you still put in details we're supposed to use here. For other people's VNet, don't complain because we already have one already. But let's still copy, we'll just put one. I will not create so as not to cause conflict. We'll specify here. Now, make sure it's on that same region. This complaining, this name was different. So by the time you put one, okay, this already has the virtual network with the same name. If you put one, it cannot give you that problem again. So I think the next thing is supposed to be go to your IP addresses. Let's just check the slide here. On the right thing. IP addresses. So basically, if we're to create an IP address, the best thing for us to do first is supposed to be to delete this default one we have first, then create the two new ones. So 10.0.1 and 4. So the first thing we need to do basically, so I don't have one, is to delete this one that is default. So when we delete this one that is default, we now go to add subnet. We click here to add subnet. So obviously we have to change the subnet name into maybe public subnet. Subnet. We leave this primary IP address as default. Then you add the starting address here. That should be 124. Okay. I think subnet delegation is something we should consider. Private gateway. So that will be for the. So we click add. When you add it and you check down, you see that this one has been added, the public subnet. Then we're also going to add the private one as well. That's private subnet. So the IP address should be 1.0.2 and cordon. Go to enable the private subnet. Then this delegation. I think because we're going to create my SQL flexible server, we must take. And it's good we do this before the creation of the database so that it doesn't give us problem. Okay, that's it. Microsoft DB Microsoft flexible server. Let's confirm before it was the correct thing. Okay, you see, it's something critical. Scroll down in the subnet panel, find the private subnet, toggle it to enable, then find the subnet delegation. Select Microsoft DB for my SQL flexible. Both must be set before adding. Private subnet enable, subnet delegation, private is that, NAT gateway none, security group none. Click add. So when we click add now, we have to have the public subnet with an IP address of 10.0.1.0 to 10.0.1 that is having 256 addresses /24. So the next thing we need to do is to create the network security group for the business. So basically, after doing that, the next thing is supposed to have, if we were trying to create it newly, then we press create and all that, but we're not doing that. So that will be that. So we just type network security. But I'm just trying to show you guys how we'll get to where I stopped, because I think I just finished creating database. I think created a database. So I'm trying to see to it and all that. So if you look at the network, you see that we have created a private and this and that. But let me just show you how we go about creating the network security groups. So you see, create the network security group public for the VM subnet. The Epic group, that should be the resource group. When you click create, so we've typed network security there. So we're going to click create now. Then the name of it is going to be NSG public. Region is going to be Canada Central. The resource group, Epic public resource group. Go to resource. So that will be that. Let's say if we had not created anything, you should see a button here that you click. But since already there, we just go here and click. So we resume in. So resource group is supposed to be Epic group resource group. Resource group. It still be the same thing. So you just wait for it to load so that you can highlight the insertion box. Okay. So just click the drop down resource group. Now another thing is this. I want you to take note of. When it comes to the creation of the resource group, it's just a container. It can be anywhere. But your VNets, your virtual machine, your network security group, your IP configuration, and all that must be in the same zone. If not, there will be conflict. So the name is supposed to be NSG public. So let's just type NSG public. Because if you type NSG public, MSG hyphen public. he's complaining because there's already a name like that, but we put one now because of Canada Central Region. So the next thing is to go to the, I think, create, review and create. Since we are not doing that, let's do that. Start looking. So we're not doing that since we already created this toolbar. So all that. Then we're to add an SH rule. So that's going to be from the left side. So this is for the public place adding SH issues. So let's say, for instance, we are assuming now that we just created this SSH group. So when we check it here now, by the left, if you go to, okay, let's just enter. If you enter, so if you go to inbound rules now here, you will see, okay, we already have this support button. So already we have created allow SSH for port 22 protocol TCP/NE. But if you wanted to add, let's assume I've not added it. You click your add here. You click your add here. When you click your add, any your port, your any. So the customs are the things you will specify. Now, if you want SSH, you put your SSH here. You should have done this. That's HTTP. Put your SSH. See to give you the port 22 and all that. So you put your priority. Maybe 300, whatever you want to do. But this is taking 200 because already created SSH and HTTP. You put that. So when you're done with that, you click your add. You come and add here. You click that add button again. You do the second. And you come if you want to put your HTTP. Come here. Select HTTP. She automatically gives you ETL and all that. So that's how you add your tools. You put your name, then the priority also matters. So let's cancel. So if you look at it here, now we have priority 300 for allow SSH port 22 protocol TCP source any destination any action allow. Then for 310 priority allow HTTP port 80 TCP any. So those are the inbound rules for those are the inbound rules for the HTTP. So now we have to connect my device. So the next thing now will be going to do okay. What did they do? Okay. Or to associate with the public subnet. So on the left side bar, we click subnet associate. So if we were to do that, basically, this is how it will be done. Let's go back. So under this virtual network, you have to go in. So you go in. That's subnet. So you go subnet. So when you click add, associate. So you see it's trying to associate the private one because we already have the subnet. So you select the virtual network, which is the PPP network. But if we are to associate it, the public we're associating, so you just cancel, you're not taking it. But if you look at here, you already see we already have the public subnet. We have the address range of 10.0.1.024, the address range, and have the IP group. So that's how you associate subnet. So basically, this was saying basically, we are creating the network security with this for documentation only, we do not associate. So under the resource, we create network, we create, and we do all this. But we do not associate this private with a subnet. We only take it for your description what was asked for. So what they're basically saying now is this. That is trying to create the NSG private as we have here. So you go back. If you wanted to do that, sorry, that'll be following the steps. That'll be create. energy private, Canada Central, review, create. You go to the resource, you now do the inbound route and everything. So that's basically we're putting the resource group, pick resource group, we put the name, private, and next. Next, private. Put one is complaining because the name already exists. You must do it on the Canada region. Then once you've done that, you just review and create, and you are done for that. Go backwards when you create anything. Yes. So what they were basically saying here was that you do not associate, like for the public group, we associated the subnet to it, but the private, we're not going to associate it. That's what they're talking about there. Then you now do the inbound rule for it, putting source IP of 1.0.24. That is, yes, for it. There's an exit port 3306. I think we need to, let me just do that so that we'll see what we're talking about. Let's check. Go to inbound rule, under settings, inbound rule. Go there. We already have 100, 306. TCP protocol using the source of 10.0 because that is where the connection will come from. You cannot connect to the database directly. It has to be from the public subnet. So if you wanted to do that, you just click add to source range. And basically, custom is decided. That's why basically you change. When you take MySQL to give you the port 306 directly, where is it? Okay, MySQL to give you the port 306 directly that I talked about. Then put your priority as 100, put your name and whatever. That will give you that as well. So I will drop the documentation so to be easy. So this is what we have. You say priority of 100, MySQL from BBNet, port 3306 TCP, 1024, and all that. So that's how we did that. So I'll say something. It says that was in the stop, avoid, do not associate the network security private with any software. Take your screenshot and move on. Azure MySQL manages its own delegated subnet security. That's why you don't need to associate it. Then we're now going to create static public IP addresses, sorry, called IP book or book. Okay, so we're going to go to public IP addresses. So for ease, just type public IP addresses. Yeah. We're going to type public IP addresses. Then the IP version is going to be IP version 4. SKU will be standard. It says do not select standard version, so that is for NAT gateway only. Why? Canada Central does not have a no zone option. The drop down only shows zone redundant. 1, 2, 3. Select zone redundant. This works perfectly with VM. So your available zone should be zone redundant. Your tier should be regional. So your IP address you are static must change from dynamic to static. That's for your IP address. Let's see if it has finished. If it has finished. Already, though we have created this. If you look at it, this is the IP public IP. The one we created the virtual machine, still created another one. That's what we're having to. So, the public IP, this is how you go about it. It's already taking the resource group, Canada Central, IP version 4, the skill should be standard, availability zones redundant, tier should be regional. Then your routing preference should be Microsoft Network, timeout 4%. The next thing you leave it neutral. Then review and create. That sorts that one out. So it says something after the creation, go to your people public IP, copy and write down the IP address. This is your PPN to use everywhere in this guide. So already I've written it down. That's it. 2151, 189, 176. So that's right down. The next thing will be to position the virtual machine. So we'll type virtual machine on top. Mind you, if you click and you get into your LP public IP, you will see that this is a 20.151.89.176. Now, most times for this assignment, you will skip the network interface. Don't bother creating it because if you create it, you end up having issues of having to public IP. So basically, when you do that during the virtual machine creation, you create a network interface category. So you type virtual machine here, virtual machines. Okay. Now I already created one here, but let's just go through the process. So you should click create up here, click virtual machines. Thumbs up. Now take your source group. That should be a people source group. Let's just virtual machine. Virtual machine installed. Okay, so there's one thing I think I would like to show here. Let me see if I can open another visual suit. For me as a person, while doing this mine, I didn't create a key pair. I didn't create a key pair. What I did was basically I created the key pair from a local machine. I basically create new event by setting this. If you check here, so if I want to connect, I connect from SSH here. So what I did basically was this, I have my RSID code. So what I do basically is I just copy the key and paste it on the VM creation. I'll show that you won't get put any in the selected zone. This will be standard. Now this is where it becomes an issue. So basically, you have to take the VM that will be available, which is one that is academic that is free. So SSH public key. Then instead of generating a new key pair, what I do is that I put this existing key here. Then I copy that public key and paste here. So allowing this, and then while creating the same, instead of wasting my time, I can also do this as well. Select it so that I have the two distinct states. And I think we need to consider networking aspect. Go to this. Yeah. Go to network. Load. So you have to change this to the public, not the private. That's why it's giving that error. The public ID, you have to change it. Yeah, people will be on your DLC. Then your network security group, I think you should leave it as should network security group. Leave it as none. They say the next security group, leave it as network security group public on subnet already protects it. Okay, so that go to, we're not creating any of these things, so let's go back. So this is the VM. So we go back to the VM. And you see the IP address which you use to SSH into the system. So we're done with that. Okay. So following requires software. What will be next? You need to SSH into the machine first. Be connected. Yeah, the steps. But if you wanted to SSH into machine, that would be SSH. Azure use that's how you SSH. Yeah. Let's now go back to the, then the next thing was to install the required software, sudo apt update, sudo apt upgrade, Then sudo apt install node.js npm nginx git mysql client, then yes. So if you look at it here, what about the stage areas before I log in? Yeah. So if you look at this node version v and npm version v, nginx version v, that shows you that node.js has been installed by showing the version, npm has been run, nginx is installed and all that. Then we had to do this to remove the etc resolve call. Then we now copy this because basically the issue was normally the many issue. We're getting to the right start. We're saying Ubuntu 22.04 uses system D-resolved 127.0.0.53 by default. This does not forward to Azure internal DNS 168.63.129.116. Without this fix, the MySQL hosting returns NX domain and the app cannot connect to the database. So do this before cloning. That's sudo remove etc resolve.config. Then you have to sudo etc resolve.conf. So you are piping this 168.129.16 into the resolve.pub. So you now verify it is supposed to show you 168.122.16. So let's confirm. Yeah, that's what it gives us. So it now shows us this unable to resolve hosting. But I think this issue basically happening because the database has not been created. So we do the NS lookup. When we do that, it gives us this name. So we can now git clone the epic book, which has been cloned here. After we git clone the epic book, we sudo okay. With this sudo nano nginx config the epic book. So after we did that, we have to check the start of nginx, label nginx. It is deploying the epic book we have git cloned. Yeah, I think we are about configuring the nginx server. So let's just say configure that again first. After that, I think the test that I was running, then we created a database showing book show has been created. Then we now did cat. The cat, so just want to make sure. Okay. So after cutting this, I think I had to do it. You know? So, so let's check cutting the people application. I think we've done that. We try to see where we stopped. Sorry. Okay. So we're getting to the next stage, which is supposed to be we're cloning and installing dependency. I think we have done that. Let's see. Let's run this again and see if we have done this. Not sure I put it in. Sorry, I just had to like come back to this and little bit, so I need to be very sure. Okay. So, 2140, this is done. So this is done. This is done. Done all this. It's running. Now we need to next. Okay, so let me just confirm that I've created as all database. It's like we have created in my flexible database from what I'm seeing here. So this is the RDBS name. So let me just look at where I stopped. Sorry for the confusion. I was basically doing this one. So we have to now write. So we have to write the correct synchronized config and take note of this. Okay. Okay. So this is where I was before. Serializing the config. If you want to see that, we just now know the epic book config JSON. I think I have pasted that. Right. Okay. So we have done this. The next thing is to import the database schema and set the database. think we're just on the, I will just copy this. Asking for the password. Okay, so it has done. That was why it bounced, took me back to the prompt again. It's for me to see the other ones again. So the next one to see the DB author. Password. Okay. I'm not going to see the last. It will be books.sheet.sql. Okay. Either. Say we should verify. Excuse me. Verify. Okay, so I'm MySQL. So this is a moment of reckoning. So let us see maybe everything we have seeded even worked. So we're going to use bookstore to change to the bookstore database. Then database changed. I think show database, show tables. So as you can see, we have seeded our authors table, our book table, and our card table. So let's try and see if we can select. Let's come. So, but that error came because our SQL statement was wrong. We do not have a table called books with the capital letter B, but the table we have is called BOOK, the small letter B, book. So that was why you can see one row in the set having 54 values in the column. So we exist to get that there. So do the show tables must list books and authors count and return a number greater than 0. We have done that. Start the application and test end to end. So this is place where we might need to troubleshoot. So next, let us install npm install hg emp. I want to do that. Okay. Run command y a couple of this one and find if you give this may be permission issue. If they will check the permission of the file is continuous okay, let's write them first. Okay. Okay. Just go and see at this junction. Most likely
Not the
I'm
command.
going to troubleshoot it. Hello?
You have not downloaded the command.
Pardon?
Download the command.
You haven't downloaded what?
You have not downloaded PM2. You have to download PM2.
Okay. But I did this now. But I did this. Why is this saying this?
Use sudo. Sudo npm install -c. Yeah, your permission is denied, so use sudo.
Thank you. So thank you very much. So I don't know who gave me that suggestion. Just took me out of the hot seats. Thank you. I'm grateful. Then things about this one. Let's check out PM to start. PM to start. Online. So next PM to start. PM to save. Verify measures and testing. Insurance. One 80. Come on. So let me just do some. Let me edit the documentation so when I send it. Mm. Voila. So it came up. So this is the Epic book showing. So let's try to see if the app is working correctly. Add to cart. Add to cart. You go to cart. So our cart summary, you have 3 items. Vanishing half 2 times, and 28 summers. Total of $82. So when you click your checkout, this order is placed. Okay, so thank you very much. This is the documentation, and there were some errors which I faced while doing it initially. So I had to document them. Then basically I try to do this write-up so that as much as possible, when you are doing it, for those that have not done it, you don't really have any problem. But the other thing you need to take note of is when you are creating your password for your database creation, avoid special characters like the dollar sign, the hyphen, and all that. It must be a capital letter because if you look at this now, basically, while creating this documentation, I put the Epic Book 2024X. It didn't really work because it will complain that your application is Epic Book and you're using this password. So your password can be anything simple. I'll just go if you say your name 123, make sure one of the letters is capital or the first one is capital, and with that. Because if you go and put special characters, by the time you are trying to seed into your database, you'll be having problems. So thank you very much. I hope I was able to clear your doubts. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now. Does anyone have any question? Thank you very much. So I'm done.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm true.
Oh, thank you so much. So, hello, Shiv.
Did I still share my screen again?
Yes, yes, please. Yes.
This is the application.
Yes. Okay. Can you please just close it? Yes. And
Should I do what?
yeah, just rework. I mean, just reload again.
Review what I did. Okay,
Just
okay,
reload.
okay. Okay, I should do a review of what I did. Okay, so okay, no problem. So basically what we did here was we were trying to create an Epic Book application. So let me just go down from the beginning. Bring this guy to
No, just do that. I mean, just reload that website.
Okay, the website.
Yeah.
Okay, the website.
Just hit
Okay.
again.
So basically,
Yeah.
this is the website. Yeah, this is the website coming up again.
Yeah,
So
just
I
add,
want to
yeah,
purchase this book by
yeah,
Ellen
yes, exactly.
Heldabad. Okay, I add this. Add this three. So I go to cart. So I've selected two items in my cart. 28 summers for $28 and the vanishing half for $27. So when I check out, the order is placed.
Okay, great. Yeah, great. It's done, right? So,
Okay.
so
I don't know. Should I be a rundown of what I did? I mean, no need for that.
sorry, say again.
So I can stop sharing.
Yes, you can stop saying, right? You have done well.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Very much.
Yeah, Greg, you have made an immense effort to complete
Mhm.
this. Yeah.
Any
Want to
question
stop
from
again?
anyone? Yeah, just stop. No problem. Any question from anyone? Any question? Okay.
Or let me check with YouTube if anyone have pasted any question over there or not.
Okay, please check it. So, Greg, have you completed all assignment or still working on 4?
No, actually, I was supposed to start assignment 4. I really had a little bit of challenge with assignment 3. So by the time I finished this morning, because I was told I had of my group was to present today, so I had to now delete everything I had done and start this assignment 3 again to make sure I don't disappoint the group. So by the time I'm done now, I'll start with assignment 4. So I believe before tomorrow morning I should be done with it. My week has really been hectic. So, but before tomorrow morning I should be done with assignment 4. Though I notice it's 10 hours though, so it's gonna be a long stretch.
No, actually, I expected you will do great and you have done excellent work. So that's very good.
Thank you.
Excellent work.
Thank you.
So guys, we are good to go now. Abhishek, do you have any question?
No, I guess there is no question on the YouTube as well.
Okay then. Thank you so much, Greg, for a wonderful session. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Greg.
Yeah, see you again tomorrow.
So I can log out, sir?
Yes,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
You can log out and you can delete all resources. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you all. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye, good night, sir.
Bye. Good night.